What do the Bible, a sword, and an Israeli army rifle have in common? Well, believe it or not, more than you might think. Hey, welcome to Mornings with Bishop Robert. Thanks for joining me. You know, this is the top spot on the internet for coffee with a cleric. My goal is to introduce people to the Jesus they never knew, then help them get to know him and his word personally and better. So if our time together today speaks to your heart, let me invite you to like, subscribe, and also share this video with a friend. Well, the Bible, as most of you are aware, is the Word of God, and it's sharper than any two-edged sword. In fact, it's also known as the sword of the Spirit. The Bull Pup, well, that's the common name for the Tavor X95 rifle issued to soldiers in Zahal, the Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF. And not long ago, both were committed together to the protection of Israel. Yep, one morning when I awoke, I had a message from one of our CEEC friends in Israel. Now, for security purposes, he and his son shall remain nameless, and I'm going to be pretty opaque in any remarks that I make referring to them. But this guy had sent me a picture of his son standing at attention in his IDF uniform and holding his Bull Pup rifle in the shoulder arms position on his left shoulder. And with his right hand, the son was holding his Bible across the front of the weapon. He had just taken his oath of service as an IDF soldier. And the father had written, "Soldier boy swears to defend Israel with a New Testament over his weapon." Well, I was reminded of several verses as I considered that image. The first was in Psalm 7, which I was reading that morning since it was the first day of the month. And for those of you who are unaware, Anglican clergy read the book of Psalms each month in their devotional personal worship times as part of something called the daily office. Well, with certain Psalms getting assigned every morning and every evening, so you get through the whole thing in a month. But anyway, Psalm 7:10 says, "My shield is God Most High, who saves the upright in heart." But today's verse comes from Psalm 119. It's also quite apropos. It says, "You are my refuge and my shield, and I've put my hope in your word." Well, like all IDF soldiers, this one will be required to carry his rifle with him at all times, on duty and off, in uniform, in civilian clothes. He must always be prepared to step up and defend Israel, often with less than a moment's notice. You know, we too, as followers of Jesus, we're always to have his word in our hearts. We're commanded to set apart Christ as Lord in our hearts. That's our oath of service. We too must always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks us, to give a reason for the hope that we have. Always prepared, always faithful. As we enter the world, prepared to be faithful, God is our refuge and our shield. His promise of faithfulness relates to the outcome of the war. As I've said many times, the king is coming. He will return, and he will establish his kingdom. He'll be king over all the earth, and on that day, there'll be one Lord, and his name alone will be worshipped. He'll be the final victor. His promise of faithfulness relates to our final outcome too. And it's not a blank check promising total protection from every earthly harm. It's just a guarantee that we'll be with him forever in eternity. Hence the portion of the verse that says, I have put my hope in your word. Friends, the only blank check on the table is ours. We promise to give everything we have to advance his kingdom, whatever he requires of us. Our time, our talent, our treasure, even our lives. He promises we'll be part of the kingdom for which we have given all we have forever. So invest your time carefully. Develop and use your talent wisely. Share your treasure cheerfully and generously. And offer your life willingly. For him. All for him. And as we do, he promises that we'll be part of the kingdom for which we've given all we have. And we'll be part of it forever. Well, I didn't have forever this morning. All I had was these few minutes. And I've come to the end of those. So before I go, could I ask you to help me introduce people to the Jesus they never knew? And help them get to know him and his word personally and better. Please like this video. It truly does help more people see it. Then click follow or subscribe so you and I can get together every day. If you click the link in the description, I'll drop a free copy of my book, Count to One, right into your inbox. Hey, one more thing. Share this video with a friend, would you? Because as you do, that makes you part of the team, touching hearts all over the world with the love of Jesus. Thank you for helping.